Josh, you guys have done a good job in the last few weeks about scoring your opponents in the first quarter. Talk about getting off to a fast start and how important that is in this game.
Well, they've done a good job. They've started fast, in particular at home. We got to start fast in this one too. At the same time, if it doesn't, you got to play for 60 minutes. So, point of emphasis, we know the type of atmosphere it's going to be, type of football team that we're playing. You got to be dialed in for 60 plays. Every play can be the difference in the football game.
Adam.
You and Joey have both talked about having like dialogue with Joe this year, Hendon last year, what routes they like, what looks they're comfortable in. When you played in your era, was there that much dialogue between coach and player about what they're comfortable with?
I ran the whole thing, so you know what I mean. Yeah, my experiences as a quarterback, you know, Joey was in the quarterback room with me. I think it's important that you understand, you know, what he likes, why he likes it, and what he can operate really efficiently in. And then also, you know, from week to week, the changes that you make, something that on a Tuesday practice he might not be comfortable with, him understanding the why behind what you're doing, how you think it's actually going to play out, and continuing to build towards game day, make sure that he's comfortable with those things too by kickoff.
Patrick and Brent.
Josh, going off Rick's question on starting fast, I think you guys have scored touchdowns on opening drive of 7 or 9 games. What was it being good to start games on offense, and how much of that is done during the week with preparing your opening drive and scripting all that?
You do some of that for sure, but structurally it can be different, so you got to adjust within the course of the drive. You know, I think guys being dialed in, being ready when the ball's teed up and the opening kickoff happens. You know, and obviously good players that go operate and function at a high level too.
Coach, in the passing game, your average yards per attempt has gone up here the last few weeks. Is that just structures of defense? Is that stuff you guys are getting into that you like? Is that growth overall? What's kind of elevated some of the vertical stuff?
Yeah, average per completion. Some of that goes into the efficiency of what we've done down the football field. Some of it goes into structure. All those things that play into operating at a really high level go into the factor of doing that. So I said it early in the week, young guys, skilled guys, I'll include, you know, like Callie, who's new in this offense, them operating at a really high level and being on the same page based off the looks that we're seeing, all go into the quarterback playing at a high level too. And so you got to factor in all of those things to why that's happening.
Austin.
You said at the podium after the Virginia game, and you know, you were talking about Jackson Ross, and you know, talking about his first game, you know, in a new land, and you kind of almost defined about you knew he was going to do what he's done ever since then. What's he meant, and just talk about that unit as a whole, because when you look at the less than 20 return yards and almost 3 full seasons in punt return, that's pretty crazy when you think about it.
Yeah, Jackson's done a really good job of continuing to grow. Been really solid here. You know, middle half portion of the season. The 10 guys around him, they've been really good in protection, and they've been great in coverage. You know, and you know, guys don't think about it, but Matt Slansky's done an unbelievable job at snap of getting down the football field and being a part of, you know, fair catches or being in on the tackle too. Your gunner's got to win. It takes all 11. But Jackson's growth, just comfort, and playing American football. It's been fun to see that evolve throughout the course of the season.
Patrick and Wes.
You mentioned McCown a minute ago. Just he was a guy that played a lot of football, but was new to your system. How have you seen him kind of grow over the course of the season? Has he given you guys what you kind of expected when you brought him here?
Oh, there's a lot on our tight ends, maybe as much as any position. You look at their involvement in the run game, understanding all the structures and the nuances of what we're doing there. You look at their involvement in pass protection when we're in 11 personnel. And then obviously, you know, you got to be like a wideout when you go out on the perimeter. And there's a lot of detail that goes into all 3 phases of that. He has played a lot of football. I do believe he's playing his best football right now. He's a guy that cares deeply. You know, he's a perfectionist by nature. Every rep, you know, he wants to be right on, and he prepares in a really good way.
Josh, when Jackson Ross got here, did you know when he arrived that he was definitely going to be a guy who punted with both feet, or was that kind of like one of those, you're going to have to kind of prove that before I'll believe that things?
Now, his recruiting film, what I watched, was as unique and as good as any recruiting type that I had seen. What he does with his feet is something that I would have tried to have done with my arm. It was pretty impressive.
When you go to places you used to coach at, how much do you reminisce on the path you've taken to get here on Rocky Top?
Saturday will totally be about like, the ball game. The trip to Columbia. We understand what we're getting into. There are a lot of good people that have been and are important to the journey that my wife and I and our family have been on, and very thankful to those people for helping me in my career.
All right. That's it.
Yeah, that might have been the longest Thursday that we've had.